With summer vacation fast approaching, I'm sure you're all looking forward to beach vacations, laying out by the pool, or simply enjoying the sun and warm weather. As a young adult, it's easy to get caught up in wanting to have fun and live in the moment. A large factor of going out and having fun is the sun. People make plans around when the weather's going to be brightest, or even take the time to enjoy a sunny day by laying out to tan for a few hours. However, years of unprotected fun in the sun can actually lead to deadly and preventable health risks that we might not be aware of. Now, you may have heard that staying out in the sun too long is dangerous, but might not know the full extent of health risks associated with ultraviolet radiation, which is a type of radiation emitted from the sun. According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, ultraviolet radiation overexposure from the sun can cause skin damage, premature aging, cataracts, immune system suppression, and the most detrimental of these, skin cancer. According to the National Institute of Health, exposure to UV radiation is actually associated with 80 to 90% of skin cancers. Skin cancer is a sweeping epidemic across the United States, and one that is largely preventable. According to the EPA, as many as 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer during their lifetime, and every hour, 1 American dies from skin cancer. These statistics are tragic and sadly very relevant to us young people, as now the most severe form of skin cancer, melanoma, is one of the most common skin cancers among young adults aged 15 to 29. As young adults, it can be hard to consider how what we do in the moment can impact us in the long run. However, it is evident that this issue cannot be disregarded. Melanoma and other skin cancers are just as detrimental as other forms, and if not caught early, can travel down from the skin into the blood vessels and lymphatic system. This can cause it to eventually reach vital organs such as your brain, lungs, and heart, according to the American Academy of Dermatology. It is also important to remember that skin cancers, melanoma specifically, are progressive. This means that the longer left unchecked, the farther cancer spreads into later stages. The later the stage you are in, the less chance you have of living 5 years past diagnosis. Without taking proper precaution against UV rays, what we might think of as harmless fun in the sun now can actually be costing us our health and potentially years of our lives. Now, I'm not going to suggest that everyone stay cooped up to avoid the sun this summer. That would be unhelpful and honestly hypocritical of me as someone who also enjoys the sun and warm weather. However, with just a few small adjustments to the way that you enjoy the sun, these risks can be greatly minimized. First, and maybe most obviously, apply about 1 ounce of sunscreen to exposed skin 15 minutes before sun exposure, applying every 2 hours. Sunscreen is intended to block out UV rays, and the higher the SPF number, the greater the protection. Next, and even more effective, is to wear protective gear and clothing such as wide brim hats and long sleeves. Clothing is actually much more effective at protecting our skin from UV rays, as it provides a barrier that cannot be wiped, rubbed, or rubbed off and doesn't need to be reapplied. However, when you live in a climate as hot and humid as Louisiana, sunscreen is typically the more convenient option whenever covering is not possible. Finally, seek shade whenever possible and always check the UV index. The UV index is able to measure the impact of sun on any outdoor activity. It is available on any weather broadcast channel and on the weather app on your mobile phone. The index ranges from 1 to 11, with 1 to 2 being low and 11 plus being extreme. The sun's UV rays are strongest between the hours of 10 a.m. and to 4 p.m., so opting for earlier morning and later afternoon activities would be optimal if you plan on going out without protection. Imagine, years from now, that habitual unprotected sun exposure has led you to having to undergo rounds of chemotherapy and maybe even having to go under the knife. Now, however, imagine still getting to enjoy all the fun summer activities you love participating in without having to jeopardize your health and longevity. By making these few small changes to the way you enjoy your summer, this reality is possible. As young people, with our whole lives ahead of us, it is easy to lose sight of our health, especially when it comes to enjoying the summer sun. However, there is simply too much on the line with overexposure to UV rays. What started as just a few extra hours in the sun could potentially turn into years of doctor's visits, worry, and an overall decreased quality of life. By taking proper precaution against the sun now, by wearing sunscreen, protective gear, seeking shade, and avoiding the sun during peak UV hours when going out without protective gear, you could save yourself from a lifetime of health stress later on. Thank you.